Bullis is not a place where you would sit through boring lectures to get some fancy diploma, only to sit through more mind-numbing classes in some random college to get a degree you need to work at a job you despise for hours on end. No, Bullis is where you go to learn with people that will bring the best out of you. We students have been given so many opportunities to learn. In 7th grade, I had a great opportunity to bury myself in history. This time, we were studying Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Julius Caesar. It was about the circumstances surrounding the assassination of the dictator. Instead of having us read independently, Mr. Marusak assigned parts before each act and had us say the lines of our character. This ensured we learned collaboratively. Studies have shown that speaking out loud is much better than reading silently. This is one of the first things that the 8th graders learned in Mr. Choman's American history class. The method also prevented students from growing weary of the topic. Though some might think reading is a chore, following along and saying lines with your own inflections make the material more than just words on a page. The culmination of this effort was to act out the assassination of Julius. Recall that his senators murdered him during the Ides of March and that his last words, according to Shakespeare, were et tu, Brute? Acting out the scene, reliving the events of the past would imprint information in one's mind much better than any book ever could. I certainly would not forget, since I was the unfortunate soul who played Caesar. Now that I think about it, I do empathize with him. Every subject this year has left me with lasting memories. For example, when we made a hydroponic garden in Impact, I drafted and scrapped multiple signs. In the Latin blended class, we made an end-of-the-year video for ourselves while also laboring over noun declensions and the ever-growing pile of endings that we had to know. The band competitions and live shows that we spent long hours preparing for will always have a special place in my heart. Writing poems in the English seminar has taught me more about the art of poetry than ever before. Going outside in math class to measure objects and their shadows ingrained in us the knowledge that the relationship between mathematics and the real world. Thanks to science class, my taste buds will always fear the sight of pure sodium acetate, which tastes disgustingly of seawater and lemon juice. Of course, let's not forget about the civil, but sometimes heated discourses that Mr. Choman held in American history. That was where you discovered who your real friends were, who's for you and who's not. However, the reason I'll remember these moments is because they are prime examples of deep learning. Henry Ford once said, "Anyone who stops learning is old. Anyone who keeps learning stays young." What makes Bullis so extraordinary is that no one here is intellectually stagnant. It's hard to be unmotivated when you're surrounded by hardworking and thoughtful people. Each of us has a unique personality. We each have values and truths that we hold near and dear to our hearts. When we see a friend in need, we don't see that as a win, as another competitor lying in the dust. We view that as a problem, and we carry each other until everyone has crossed eventually. Some view life as a race against everyone else, a race to gather as much wealth and power as possible. But here, we come to each other's aid, because that is the Bullis way. Thank you.